Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Planet Coaster. We are here at the front of Villa Volta and we are starting this episode again directly with an update. Nothing has changed in Villa Volta, but the update is very near here. As you can see, we have people walking in the park, and that is because I opened up the park again because I wanted to see if everything was still working correctly, mainly the new part that I built. And if you remember from last time we said we were going to start building on one of the Darkrides, and it would either be Symbolica or Droomvlucht, but I have been working on a Darkride, but it has been neither of those two. The Darkride that I've been working on is that one. It's based on Fata Morgana in the Efteling. And for those of you who don't know what Fata Morgana is a boat dark ride based on the 1001 Night stories. And it is built in an Arabian theme. And if you remember from a couple of episodes ago, I said that I wanted to build Symbolica and Droomvlucht. And then if there was space left, I would build Fata Morgana. But I decided, you know what, I want a boat dark ride. Boat dark rides are something else. They're a little bit special, I think, compared to normal dark rides, because you're in a boat, you're on the water, and I really wanted to build it. So I decided we just start building this one, and if there isn't any room left at the end, we'll scrap one of the other two, but there should be plenty of room left for all three. But this one is what I started building on. So if we take a look over here, this is the entrance to the plaza. At the front over here, and right in the middle, you have a little shop where you can buy pizza and milkshakes. We do still need to do something about the shop over here, because, you know, if you walk up onto the plaza over here, the first thing you see is this bare wall. So we have to do a little bit about that. I'm thinking of maybe putting down a little stage over here where performers can play. In real life in the Efteling, at least during the summer, there are stages all over the park where people play and perform. So this wouldn't be a bad place to do so. Then if we walk along a little bit further, as I said, these are the shops. Lots of plants and planters on the plaza, of course. Then over here we have the toilets built into the wall. This wall, by the way, I built just so we can have a little bit less bushes. Then on this side, this is the exit. This is the exit of the shop that you have to walk through to get out of the ride. Then some more planters over here. A little bit of a terrace where you can sit and eat your pizza slice. And of course, a very, very large viewing area that looks out over the entire lake. And then of course, the main part of this update, the ride itself. This is the tower, the minaret, I believe it's called. Just so you know, this ride is not... Yeah, thank you. Okay, you guys are stuck. How did you get inside there? Okay, I'll fix you guys later. For now, I don't want your screams. What was I saying? Oh yeah, right. The ride itself is not done yet. I wanted to show you a little bit of an earlier part of the build, because last time, of course, we did the dive coaster, and during the first update on the dive coaster, the coaster was pretty much done and the theming was pretty much done, so there wasn't a whole lot left to do other than finish the area on that side of the park in that episode. But for this episode, I want to take you in a little bit closer. I want to show you a little bit more of the process that I use to build a dark ride, how I built the interiors and stuff like that. So the ride isn't finished yet. It is finished in the sense that it goes around, so people can actually go in the ride and queue for the ride, but there isn't any theming yet on the inside. Right, with that having said, this is of course very much the same as it actually is in Efteling. A whole lot of up and down over here. Then we go inside the tower, nice little chandelier, and this is where all the resemblance to Efteling stops, because when you get inside an Efteling, you have to go up along the wall and all the way around the big open area around the wall. With there's a big turning table in the middle. Of course, those things aren't in Planet Coaster, so we could recreate it, but I think that's a little bit a waste of parts. So we just use the regular station that Planet Coaster gives us, and this is the station. And like I said, it isn't done yet, so there is some decoration on the walls, but not a whole lot yet. We will do an on-ride, but not quite yet. We'll do one once I have a couple of the rooms on the inside finished. For now though, we go immediately to the exit, which is filthy with litter. I need to get some bins in here. This is the exit pass, also filthy. My god, people. Can't you just hold on to it for 5 minutes? And how do you get so much burger wrappers and milkshake cartons in here to begin with? Haven't you just done a Darkride? Unbelievable. You walk over here, over this bridge, can look down on the right. Then you go here, down the stairs. And then obviously this is the exit. There's a little toilet over here, couple of shops. And then we exit over here into the plaza again. Right. So if we take a look from a little bit of a distance, then this is what it currently looks like. As you can see, the ride itself not quite done yet. I'm mainly focused on the plaza and the entrance building. This alone took like 2 or 3 days to build, and I haven't even started building the ride itself yet. Not really. So it's going to be a long one, this one. As you can see here, we have the wall. No need to put bushes on the ground. We have some trees inside it to make it look like a jungle. And then this is the ride itself. Obviously, this is the station building. Now, the idea behind the station is that this is going to be a street with houses on either side. Maybe some market stalls over here, or some carriages, or some barrels, or maybe somewhere to sit, stuff like that. So this is the idea for here. Then the first room of the Darkride. Now, the real ride, real Fata Morgana in Efteling, it's obviously based on 1001 Nights, but it doesn't have a story. The separate rooms you go through, they are all based on scenes from 1001 Nights, but they don't have a linear story. And I think this is going to be the exact same way. We don't have a story for the Darkride. We're just going to have a couple of cool, very detailed, very nicely decorated and themed rooms inside the Darkride. And of course there's an autosave, so we have to wait. Alright, now the first room, I think it's kind of obvious from the start I made. This is going to be a jungle room. The idea is that you are floating along a river inside a jungle. There will be very thick bushes and trees all around every wall. There will be some wildlife hidden in the bushes or in the water. We have the snake here already. I'll probably add a crocodile, and I think we also have hippos in the game, so I'll add one of those as well. And yeah, that is the idea for this ride. Pretty simple, pretty basic, but that is the same way that the actual Fata Morgana begins. You go through, yeah, basically a jungle river. Then room number 2. This is going to probably be my favorite room. If you go here through the doors, then the first thing you see is this massive hull of the ship. And we have a normal ship in the game, of course, but that was a little bit too big to fit, so I used these broken pieces, these shipwreck pieces to build the ship. And the idea for this room is going to be, it's going to be dark, it's going to be night, it's going to be stormy, it's going to be raining, thunder, and there will be some figures on the ship, which you won't be able to make out really. They are supposed to be like ghosts. This is supposed to be a ghost ship. And then they are firing cannonballs at you. And with a little bit of special effects, we will have cannons firing on the ship. Huge splashes right next to the boat where the cannonballs land. You have thunder going in the air, stuff like that. So this is supposed to be you're out at sea and you come across a ghost ship and they start firing at you. Then room number 3. This, I'm not quite sure yet. I think this is going to be sort of like a market. An Arabian market with lots of stuff going on, lots of people walking, lots of different vendors doing stuff, selling stuff. Not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet, but we'll see. Then for the next room, I don't have any idea at all, actually. Although, yeah, I do have one idea. Inside Fata Morgana, there is this one scene where I think the walls are a little bit shifted. They're a little bit, yeah, not quite straight, which gives you the feeling that your entire boat is shifted. It's like crooked. And I think that's a cool idea. I think this room is maybe a little bit too big for that effect alone. So maybe we'll have to split it up. Don't know yet. We'll see. And then this room, we have the lift up here to get us back to the same height as the station. I think the lift hill is going to be a room on its own. We'll add another door here and then it's just, you know, cool visuals. But the final room, this is going to be the treasure room. And this is where the king will keep his gold, or the sultan, because we have salt. At least in 1001 Night we have that. Yeah, this is going to be the treasure room. We're going to place every single golden piece that the game has in here. Maybe we'll end with a little bit of a jungle again, just to bring it back to the same theme as we had at the front. And that is basically how this ride is going to be. Now, building this far, I think I already said, took me 2 or 3 days. And detailing all these rooms is going to take a long time. So I'm not sure if we are going to finish the episode today, or if we spread this build out over more than one episode. It may not look like much, but having all those little rooms with so many details to build, and I don't even have ideas yet for half the ride. This is going to take, I think it's going to take longer than a couple of days. I am pretty far ahead though with recordings. Today is Sunday, and today episode 4 will be published. So episode 5 is already completely recorded, which you haven't seen yet, but that is the dive coaster. I just need to edit episode 5. So I have 2 weeks to get this done, which should be doable, but I also have to work 4 days a week, so I can't play on those days. But we'll see. I'm not going to give you an on-ride just yet. You are now going straight on to the next update. We'll not do an on-ride because there's nothing to see yet. For you, it'll only take a couple of seconds. For me, it probably takes a couple of days. I'm hoping to have the first and the second room done for the next update, because for those I have clear ideas of what I want to do. And then, yeah, we'll see how far we get. So we'll see you all in a couple of seconds, hopefully with some detailed rooms in the Darkride. Alright, here we are in front of the White Horse on this side of the park. Now, if you notice, my audio is a little bit different than it used to be. That is because I've downloaded the NVIDIA Broadcast app in the hopes of filtering out some background noise from my microphone. So hopefully you won't hear my desk chair squeaking as much in the background as it used to in the videos before this. So if the audio quality is a little bit different, that is why. I just recorded and edited the Dutch part of this video, and I noticed a big difference in audio quality, so hopefully it's for the better. But this is about to update. Unfortunately, as you may have noticed, this is not the next week after last week's Planet Coaster video. This Planet Coaster video is a little bit later because it has been a lot of work to work on this Darkride. We also had some technical difficulties that I will come back to later on in this video. But for now, I just want to show you the update that we have done so far. So we are here at the back of the White Horse, not at the front of the White Horse, which is at the back of the plaza for the Fata Morgana, which you can see the tower in the background over there. That is where the Fata Morgana entrance is. So that is where we are in relation to the Darkride. Now, if we go to the left over here, there are a couple of things I want to show you before we take a look at the progress on Fata Morgana. This over here is where the entrance to Pegasus is. This is over here the side of the White Horse. And then over here we had a little bit of room left behind the plaza of Fata Morgana and next to the White Horse. In my opinion, it was too big to just be trees and bushes, so we made a little bit of an attraction of it. I put down this wishing tree that's in the game with a little bit of a, yeah, I won't call it a lake, a little bit of a pond in front of it. We have this entertainment point, no, not entertainment point, we have this vista point over here, so that people actually stop over here and look at the tree and point at it and talk to it, talk about it, stuff like that. And then if we walk a little bit further, there is a new plaza over here on this side with some benches, some tables. Still plenty of views of the wishing tree on this side. And this is the building with this nice little Planet Coaster on top of it, Planet Coaster logo. This is the Steam Carousel. Now, I know in real life, the Steam Carousel, it has a very beautiful, very detailed front with lots of paintings, lots of unique looking, I don't know what it is. It's probably like airbrushing, stuff like that. That's a little bit too complex to do in Planet Coaster, so this is what I came up with. It's not completely done yet. I still need a background for the statues over there on top. But yeah, this is the outside of the building that houses the Steam Carousel. Then as a ticket booth, I have used the claw machine over here, where you can with some king coasters. So this is supposed to be the ticket booth. I think this one came closest to how the ticket booth looks in real life. And then if we take a look inside, I did decorate the inside a little bit. We have these nice cool walls with the light fixtures, the emblems in the middle, the wooden floor. And then of course in the middle we have the carousel with the queue over here on this side. I think the carousel looks absolutely beautiful. Then if we take a walk around the carousel, we have some benches and some seating over here. This is the old steam organ, and of course it actually plays music, but I have turned it down now so I can record this video because it's quite obnoxious, the sound. You have to listen to it for hours at an end. And then we have some more seating over here. And yeah, that is the inside of the steam carousel. I think I'm not quite done with the interior yet. It's a little bit too open. I still have to add some, I think I'll have to add some planters or something like that, and maybe some more colored lights. But this is basically the steam carousel. And then if we take a look around the corner over here, this is the side of the steam carousel. I continue the theming, of course, along the side over here. Then if we walk along further on this spot, this is basically a very long and very boring path, because this is the side of the steam carousel. There's nothing going on over here. And then this is it's the back of the steam carousel. I added some wooden fencing so you can't see too far behind it. Also, so I don't have to put down as many bushes. And then this basically is just the side or the back of Fata Morgana, which is also one big boring wall. So in order to spruce this area up a little bit and not make this path a little bit too boring, I thought we'll have to do something on the left side or the right side where we are now. Basically on the outside. So I put down this attraction. I like this attraction. It's going to be in the park if we have room left, but it's not going to be on this spot. I have a different idea now for this spot, and that is what I'm going to be building next. But yeah, there will be an attraction on this side. It won't be this one. There will be something else. But yeah, there will be something to look at over here. What is going to stay on this side is the dragon over here. This is well, it's sort of a recreation of the dragon from Efteling. This is actually a very old blueprint of mine. I've built this probably one of the first things I ever built in Planet Coaster was this dragon. This is a dragon hoarding its gold. It's on a timer with a display sequencer, so every now and then it comes down, it growls, it protects its gold. And yeah, this is basically a replica of the dragon in the Fairytail forest in Efteling. This one is on my workshop as well, so if you want to use it in your own projects, if you want to download it already, you can go to my workshop. Link is in the description. And then if we walk along here, we see lots of more of empty walls, which we still have to decorate or hide. And then over here we are back at the plaza on the side of Fata Morgana that looks out over the lake. This side is a little bit nicer decorated. We have differences in height, we have the windows, we have the lights, we have an autosave.
2 hours later.
This one is already a little bit decorated. We have the windows, we have differences in heights in the walls. We have the tower over there, we have sunshades, lights, cameras. So yeah, this part of Fata Morgana looks decent. And then when we walk along to the plaza in front of Fata Morgana, this is of course the first thing that we see that is new. We have a little bit of a stage over here with a DJ that is entertaining people. We have some speakers, we have a cool little display in the background. The lights actually work. I have made a display sequencer of them, so they actually flash around in the dark, which gives a little bit of a movement in the dark, which makes it look a little bit better and a little bit more alive, even when there are no people walking around. So yeah, that is what we have done to the outside of Fata Morgana. Now the inside of Fata Morgana is nowhere near done yet, so we're not going to do an on-ride at the moment, but I am going to show you some of the things I did on the inside before we take a look from a little bit further back. So if we go inside Fata Morgana and we take the shortcut over here, this room still needs to be decorated on the inside over here. The station building is, well, I'm not quite happy with it yet. It is better than it used to be, but it's not quite finished yet, I think. We have the boats over here. We added some nets, some cargo, some pirates, some animatronics, stuff like that. We gave the operator its little house, a little booth. If we then walk across to the exit, this is of course the exit, where you go up and over the ride and then down on the other side. But this door over here, this door actually has a function. And in order to show you that, I think we're going to have to make it a little bit darker first. So this is the door we were looking at. It's now dark. This door actually has a function. It is guarded by this grumpy pirate. You need a key to actually open it, so guests can't come in here, but employees can. And if we walk through the door, then we enter a secret employee lounge. This is set up a little bit like a theater, where employees can relax, sit down, watch a movie, maybe play a game on the PlayStation or something, or the Xbox on the big screen. And yeah, this is a little bit of an employee lounge with some vintage posters along the walls, of course. And to make sure employees actually come back here, I added a couple of these employee cubicles on the back side of the secret lounge. So yeah, this is where they can come and relax and hang out, maybe even after hours, have staff parties, stuff like that. Excellent. And then, of course, this takes you outside. We can take a quick look at the station building in the dark. I really like the lighting so far. The theming, I think, could probably be better. I wanted this to feel like a street, so we'll probably add a couple more houses to this. But yeah, that is something that we will do for the next update. So yeah, this was the update from a visitor's perspective. If we then take a look outside of Cam real quick. So this is what the area looks like from above. As you can see, a lot of Fata Morgana has been, well, not finished, but it has a roof. Everything that has a roof has at least part of a functioning room for the Darkride. This side over here we have the steam carousel, which isn't that complicated of a building. The only complicated thing over here is the round spiral top to hide the top of the carousel itself. As I said, it's not quite finished yet. I still need some background for the decorations on top over here. We added again plenty of trees along everything, so everything is nicely filled up. Everything is pretty close together. I'm very happy about that, but you wouldn't say so. You can't tell really when you are at the path over here that you are pretty close to Fata Morgana. I mean, you can see it in the distance because of the height, but you don't have the feeling that you're right next to the Fata Morgana Plaza. Same goes for the plaza over here. You can't see much of the carousel. You can see a little bit through the trees, but you probably won't even notice when you're on the plaza over here because there's so much to look at. So yeah, as I said, we are a little bit later with this upload than we used to do for these videos. When I started this series, I told you I was going to target 1 or 2 videos a month, and up until now we have done a video per week. I don't think that is a realistic pace that we can keep up in the future. Building this Darkride has been a lot of work. I have spent evenings on it just building out details, and it got to a point that I got really sick and tired of this Darkride, so I had to build something else. I still wanted to play the game. I had to start building something else, so I started building the carousel and the path on the background over here. So I think for finishing this episode, I'm mainly going to focus on the path behind Fata Morgana. And I think we will do the definite finish for Fata Morgana in the next episode. Depends on how much that we get done in the next couple of days, if we're going to do an on-ride or not. But yeah, for now I want to focus a little bit on the backside over here. And the ride itself will be finished at the next episode. That is that. I will continue working and I will see you all in a little bit. Right, here we are again. We are at the back of Fata Morgana, this time right at the edge of the lake. And this time we are going to look this way. We can already see a little bit over there. I have been working on sprucing this path up a little bit. And the first thing that we see over here is some of these cool lanterns. A couple of mushrooms in the ground. A cool little fountain on the right over here. And basically what we're trying to do here is just, you know, recreate some sort of feeling like the Fairytail forest. There aren't really rides over here, but we have some cool things to look at, like these mushrooms, like these lanterns, like this fountain, stuff like that. So this is basically just a walk and look around attraction. And then if we continue walking over to this side, then we can see the dragon over here in front. We have some more mushrooms on the left and on the right. And this is the dragon. Nothing has changed over here. But if you then take a closer look on this side, this is entirely new. There used to be a flat ride here as a placeholder. But now I created a little castle, and this castle is an attraction in itself as well, because you can walk up over here, go up, and then you can go inside the castle. For now, we just have this jester over here on his horse. I don't have anything in it yet, but there will be a cool scene in here that people can look at. And then if we look at it from the front, this is what it looks like. It's pretty big, but not too big. It's based on a new fairy tale in the Fairytail forest in Efteling called the Six Swans. So that is the castle that it is loosely, very loosely based on. And yeah, I think this is an excellent attraction, ride that fits in here to spruce up this path a little bit, to take your eye away from the boring side on this side and draw it to this side, so you have something to look at. So if we take a look from outside of Tedget Cam real quick. So this is what that side looks like from above. You have the little castle, some buildings in the back, a wall over here to disguise the fact that there's a very steep hill at the back over here. Then we have the dragon. And over here we have a little bit of a forest area with this little forest path and all the cool magical fairy things. Excellent. Now, I want to show you this area in the dark real quick, because I think it looks absolutely beautiful. So over here, this side, pretty basic. Then the dragon obviously is very brightly lit for some reason. And the castle is lit with like fires and stuff like that. So I think that looks pretty cool. We have some spotlights on the roof across to give it a little bit of color, and some spotlights around the water as well to give it a little bit of color. So yeah, I think this looks absolutely beautiful, and it is a very nice edge to the park. Now, next thing that I want to show you is, of course, Fata Morgana. I have been working on it for a couple of days now, since the last recording, and I'm still not finished. It's still nowhere near finished. We still need to finish at least, I still have 2 rooms that aren't finished completely, and all the other rooms, except for maybe 1 or 2, I still need to add some things to it and finish it off. But I think it's now in a state that we can at least do an on-ride, so you guys can see what the end result is going to look like. It's not going to be exactly the way it looks now, because I still want to change a couple of things. I have some ideas that I want to do, but I couldn't let you go in this episode without an on-ride of the main attraction that we've been building for this entire episode. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the on-ride of Fata Morgana. Alright, and that was our on-ride on Fata Morgana in its current state. Like I said, there is still lots of work to do. A couple of rooms haven't been finished. The last room hasn't been started at all even. And I still need to do lots of changes in the rooms that have been started. I have things to add, things to change. Every time I take an on-ride, I see things that I want to change, that are not good enough, that are out of sync, stuff like that. It just takes a really long time to finish these things because there's lots of special effects going on, lots of triggers involved. So in order to test these triggers, you have to do on-rides every time. So every time you change something on a trigger, you do an on-ride, see if it works, see if the timing is correct. If it isn't, you have to adjust it, test it again, stuff like that. So it takes a little bit of work, but I think we made pretty good progress. It took me a while to get to this point, but now that I'm here, I can see the finish line, and we are definitely going to finish this the next episode. But for now, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!